What's up, guys? It's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be doing a brief video on the 4-star and the 3-star hero from the Clash of Knights portal, and also the hero of the month. Now, I wasn't going to do these videos just because it's been a absolutely hectic month, and the amount of new heroes that have been released has been ridiculous, but mostly because it is the Rugby World Cup at the moment. And as you can see by my little icon, I am a proud South African supporter. I am living in the UK at the moment, but that doesn't make any difference whatsoever. I'm still backing the box 100%. So I don't know if any of you guys are into rugby, but that's been my excuse. It's been a hectic month so far. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and have a look at these heroes. I know you guys, some of you guys in the comments have been wanting to know about them. So we're going to have a look at the 4-star and the 3-star. We'll start with the 4-star hero from the new Clash of Knights, so our newest 4-star hero. Bear in mind, the 4-star heroes from this portal in the past have been some of the best and most impactful heroes in the 4-stars in the game. Initially, there was Ferrant, who was an absolutely amazing counter-attack hero, the first to counter-attack and give mana, and he was used as a tank in the top metas for quite a while when he was released. And then you've got Franz. And Franz is a hero that I use all the time in pretty much every facet of the game, especially in events and things like that. But he's extremely impactful as part of an attacking team in rush wars. He increases damage and he shuts down the enemy team for a long time. And yeah, so he's got a lot to live up to, this guy, Koda. So Koda is going to be, first of all, he's of the bear family. So the bear family bonus, just as a quick reminder, is that they replace defense status elements with an increased defense buff for 3 turns. Now, I believe in one of the comments I've seen that this does apply to elemental defense down as well. So it does say all received defense status elements. So I'm assuming that includes the elemental defense, which is great. I mean, it's a fantastic bonus. I guess the only downside is that it just applies to one hero from the bear family. But as we see more of these heroes released, I think pairing them up together will be very impactful. It's almost like a Styx family bonus, but maybe a little bit better, because you can't, not only can you not give them defense down, but it's replaced by defense buff. And the buff is starting at 40% and goes up to a maximum of 70% increased defense. So that is pretty good. He is of the cleric class as well, so he gets a mana shield, which gives him a 35% chance to resist negative mana effects and effects that prevent the use of special skills. So that is really useful as well for Koda. Now, in terms of the stats, I mean, if we just look at this, and I'm going to keep it with the max power preview on, we're looking at a 952 on the attack, which is decent, very decent, in fact. 875 defense, pretty good. Maybe not quite as competitive at the top levels if you're using him as part of a 5-star team or an attacking team in raids and wars. And 1831 on the health, very respectable. So good stats across the board for him, and a total team power of 947, which is, it's pretty good. I mean, if you look at that in comparison to, oh God, the pop-ups. If we take them alongside, let's just take a relatively new hero. I mean, if we look at Pengi, for example, 975 power, and that's with a single limit break. So almost, pretty close to one of the newer sort of heroes that we've had released. I mean, Mother North at 966. That's with the costume as well. So yeah, I mean, the stats for this guy, you could say he's quite relevant in terms of that, being at 947. Now his special skill. Now, it is running at fast speed. It's called Feral Swing. Not the hugest fan of the art for this guy. He looks like he's come out of some kind of comic book, like a He-Man type character, and a little bit lazy, unfortunately. I'm not a huge fan of the art on this guy. But he deals at fast speed 400% damage to the target. So that is a very respectable hit. So he's a fast speed sniper. The target then gets minus 35% defense for 3 turns, and the defense increases by 10% each turn, up to a maximum of minus 55% defense. Right. So he's a single target sniper with a pretty damn hard hit, giving defense down to a single target, which increases over 3 turns. Now, there are some issues with this, is that where am I going to fit him in? I mean, he's not hitting more than 1 target. The meta is very much about hitting either 3 enemies or multiple enemies, you know, or the whole team. Even for the fast speed heroes, I mean, you can take somebody like, let's just take Costume 2 Cadman, the first one that comes to mind. A pretty decent hit. I know it's lower, but to 3, so it's about 270, somewhere around there. You know, Costume Li Zhu, second costume for Li Zhu, is also doing a pretty decent hit. And if you add up that damage across the 3 enemies, it's much higher. Plus the ailment is to 3 enemies. I mean, somebody like Marcel, for example, I think he's 300% to 3 enemies. Yeah, the stats might not be quite as high, but the problem is he's just a single target hero. And while the effect is great, it's just not enough. It isn't enough, even with that higher hit. I'm going to say, unfortunately, I don't think this guy is going to be extremely impactful. Yes, he can target a single hero, but yeah, single hero killers are really out at the moment. So I don't think he's going to be coming into fashion anytime soon. Certainly not with that horrible looking scarf or cloak that he's got on. He's just skinned a bear. I thought they were supposed to be like, the bear family were like being kind to these bears. I mean, I guess this guy's literally wearing a bear as well. Maybe Koda just got the leftovers from Torben's outfit. That's what it kind of looks like. Now, the 3-star that we've got is called Fawn, baby deer. And she is also of the stag family, so that is kind of appropriate, the name. Just to recap on the bonus, it's for 1, 2, or 3 heroes, and again, they replace a status element with an increased attack buff for 3 turns, so that probably not as impactful as the bear family bonus, but still very relevant in terms of making sure that they don't get affected or reduced in their attack. She is of the fighter class as well, which is nice to see, and kind of a recurring theme for the for the fire heroes that we have in this portal. And she does get this passive. Now, on playing through the events in the challenge, I found the passive was quite useful for these heroes, the health recovery on buff received. It's just whenever they get a buff or a positive stack, they recover 5% health. So that was pretty cool. And it applies for the heroes from the bear family as well. So I really do like that bonus. And sorry, I'm going back out and in. It's just that I like for you guys to be able to see the hero when I'm sort of talking about them. So in terms of stats, just having a little look here, limit break times 2, 725 on the attack, 754 on the health, and 1472. 754 on the defense and 1472 on the health. So pretty damn good, actually. And she benefits from the defense up ether talent, which, as you know by now, if you watched any of my other videos, is one of my favorite talents. I think it works extremely well because it's there from the off. So she's got a few things that help with survivability already. The fighter class bonus and the defense up ether talent. And also she doesn't get affected by those negative attacks, and also this buff, so where they receive a positive buff or positive stack, then they get, or buff or positive stack, then they get health boost of 5%. So very survivable, and a lot that works well in conjunction with each other. Now, I just want to do a quick comparison in terms of the stats just to see how she stacks up. So what we need is a 3-star hero who's second limit broken. So he is at 753 on the team power for Buster. So if we just compare here, she is at 760. So yeah, she's higher. There's definitely some power creep in play. Now, her special skill is called Evading Dash, and she is also running at fast speed. Now, all allies get plus 45% chance to dodge special skills for 3 turns. I like that already. A fast speed hero that gives dodge to the entire team. Now, that is very different than what we've just seen with Koda, because she's supporting the entire team. Each dodge damages the attacker for 80 damage. Again, I mean, she's like a mini version of Constance. Constance is 100 damage, hers is 80, but it's still decent. And all allies receive Constance is actually 100%, I think. So it's slightly different, but at the 3-star level, very competitive. And all allies receive a small amount of mana over 3 turns. I believe that's probably going to be equivalent to about 5% per turn. So she's not a direct damage dealer. There's no damage involved in her special, which is kind of a slight downer, which doesn't maybe work too much in her favor. But she is a 3-star, so we can't expect too much from her as a 3-star hero. And the fact that she gives that little bit of a mana boost, actually, with her running at fast speed, could mean that she would be extremely impactful. I'm thinking of for a defensive hero in 3-star tournaments. I think in the buff booster tournament, she'd be amazing because of that passive, because she also gives a buff with the dodge, and she would give a buff with that mana generation stack, which is, or not stack, but that effect. So yeah, really, really good hero, actually. I think out of all of these heroes, I mean, she's probably right up there with one that I would definitely level up. And I think congratulations to you guys if you do manage to get your hands on Fawn, because I think she is dope. But unfortunately, Koda, he's a bit of a letdown. I think probably the only letdown out of the new heroes that they've released. So that is saying something. Now, in the same vein, I do want to have a quick look at this guy, Uthragan, or whatever you want to call him. He is a monstrous looking hero, and I really do like the way this guy looks. I think he looks incredible. Now, he is our hero of the month for this month of October, and he is of the Barbarian class. Nothing to write home about there. The 2023 family bonus, again, no idea what that's going to be. And he has got a couple of passives. So he's got a resist mana generation stopping talent, or passive. So he has innate resistance against status effects that stop mana generation. So he'll be resistant against heroes like Hell and Proteus. Unfortunately, though, those heroes that stop mana generation seem to all be, or mostly be, in the dark element, and he's dark, so that doesn't really give him that much of an edge. It is kind of a niche passive. He also has an innate resistance against poison. Again, that is an extremely, or quite niche sort of passive. I could see a use for him against heroes like Matilda, for example, that give poison and increase poison damage. Heroes like Ferris, who give poison damage. I mean, there are quite a few heroes that give poison damage, but if you're just using him for that purpose alone, then it's not worth leveling up a 5-star hero to do that. He does benefit from the defense up ether power, ether talent, which again, like I said, I think is one of the best ether talents. So that is pretty good. And in terms of stats, if we just whack that max power preview off, because we are looking at a legendary hero, we're looking at quite a respectable 929 on the attack, 741 on the defense, which is pretty damn low. So he's not going to be that survivable, unfortunately. And 1610 on the health. So again, nothing to write home about there. Now, his special is called Venomous Claws. I mean, you can see there he's got these little claws on his fingers. So he's stocked up with poison inside of him, it looks like. I mean, like I said, I do love the art on this guy. So he is running at very fast speed. I know we all get really excited when we see a hero that's running at very fast speed. It's like, yeah, absolutely want that hero. I can charge him in 2 matches. That is a huge benefit for very fast heroes in this game. So at very fast speed, he will be dealing 150% damage to the target, which isn't very much, and it's just to a single target. Now, what does happen though is that the target and nearby enemies receive 573 poison damage over 3 turns. Now this is an interesting effect because he's dealing poison damage, which is quite a high amount over a very short period of time, and that effect does increase with limit breaks and emblems, so it can get up to 753 poison damage over 3 turns. I believe it will increase to about 800, but that means that they're going to get significant amount of poison damage over 3 turns, probably equal to about, let's say, sort of 265-ish per turn. So that's a lot. If you don't have a cleanse ready, that's going to hurt a lot. Now that's not the end of it. The caster also will absorb 100% of the dealt poison damage as health. That is pretty damn good, because he is running at very fast speed, so he's going to fire off pretty quickly. He does do a minimal amount of damage, but the damage over time is going to happen at that very fast speed that he casts, and then he's going to be healing while that damage is there. So it's very unlikely, if you're facing this guy, that you're going to have a cleanse ready to go within 2 tile matches. So it can be pretty frustrating, and if you're not prepared, 753 poison damage is not nothing, and that's happening to 3 enemies over 3 turns, and this little sucker's healing up, so he's ready to fire again. So yeah, he could be pretty devastating, I think. I'd say it would be nice if you could pair him with another hero that would increase the damage, but then they're going to overwrite each other, unfortunately, because I can't remember the hero from the magic family, the new magic hero who's the nature hero. He does the damage increase to status ailments, and then you've also got Matilda, who does the damage increase to status ailments, but unfortunately they both do poison damage, so you're going to just be overwriting his poison damage with their poison damage. So I hope that makes sense. Now he also has an element link, which gives plus 10% mana generation for all dark allies for 4 turns. Sorry. Very good element link, especially because he is running at very fast speed. You can pair him up with other dark heroes that are running at fast speed, for example, or even average speed, and they will get the benefit of the increase of 10% to their mana generation, which lasts for 4 turns and cannot be dispelled. So yeah, you know what? I wasn't too excited about this crazy looking guy, but in looking over his card, and this is really the first time I've delved into it in any kind of detail, I do actually really like this guy. So I think that we're on to a winner with this hero of a month, and I could definitely see a few different attack teams which I could pair him on where he'd be pretty effective. So congrats to you guys if you do manage to grab Uthragan or Uthragan. Please let me know how you guys find this hero in practice if you do manage to level him up. And please do drop us a like and subscribe if you find these videos helpful. There will be more to come as the new heroes are released. And please do send me your comments and let me know what you think of both the 4 and the 5-star heroes here in this portal, and also of our lovely hero of the month. So that will be all for now, and I will see you guys again in the next video. Bye for now, guys.